It's vibes-based politics. Okay, yeah. Oh, man, why are my Republican brethren being so fucking sheep-like and stupid? Wow, wow. That's a real fucking head-scratcher, Thomas. You know, if you want more, like, conscientious, if you want more, like, maybe not, like, non-sheep, right? But if you want people who actually, like, engage in political introspection, then you might want to, you know, swap teams. You might want to, like, jump on over to the other side, become a libtard.
All about that because
okay, get over here.
And they
Come on, man.
that he went on making calories.
Thomas, I accept you into the Marxist Lenin. All right, let's watch this video called "Tyranny of Idiots."
What do you
by Tom
mean
Folk.
they voted to keep birthright citizenship? What do you mean the white woman who adopted a bunch of black kids isn't based? But we picked her. We put her in. What are you talking about?
Okay, so look, man, the Constitution, like. You can hate brown people all you want, okay? That you have the constitutional right to, okay? You do. Like, you can spew your racism rhetoric all fucking day. But if the Supreme Court had ruled against birthright citizenship, that would just mean, like, the end of this country even faster than it is already going down, right? Like, let's be real here. America is a ship that is sinking. It is a sinking ship. All right? And there are many factors at play here that are accelerating the sinking. Okay, the sinking. But denying birthright citizenship would plunge us into a much deeper hellscape than we are already finding ourselves in. So, props to the Supreme Court. I mean, it was literally a no-brainer. The thing is like, yeah, I'm not a constitutional lawyer. Neither is this dumb motherfucker. None of us are, you know, on the street that are talking about this. People on Twitter chirping about it, okay? Yeah, you know, none of us are experts, right? But the Constitution just so clearly says that any persons born within the United States borders is a citizen. That's what it says. That's basically what it says. Okay, go fucking look it up. Go look up the 14th Amendment. It's insane to me, man. It's insane that they actually... the fact that there are justices on the Supreme Court that disagreed with what I just said. They were like, oh yeah, actually, no, fuck that. That's so crazy to me. Like, dude, remove them immediately. Immediately, dude. Isn't there like a... I think Congress can do it, right? So, they have to impeach them. The House must introduce articles of impeachment and vote by a simple majority, and then the Senate must hold a trial and vote by 2/3. Yeah, dude. Everybody that disagreed with they like jail. Okay, jail them. That's crazy, man.
She's supposed to be on our side. What are you talking about? What do you mean all these women in politics keep fucking everything up? What are you talking about? Man, who would have thought that women would lead to the downfall of our civilization? Bro, I could have told you that 10 years ago when I was in the basic libertarian pipeline. When I was first getting into politics, pretty much like every other type of young Gen Z guy before we got like dissident right, I could have told you that when I was a basic libertarian that women would be fucking shit up and they shouldn't be making decisions.
Still
what are you
basic.
talking about? Like the people that are upset? Because that's the thing is I never thought this was going to go through.
You graduated from a basic libertarian to a basic racist. Okay, that's it. That's what you did.
There was never a moment where I was like, okay, yeah, that's a sure, and they're just gonna get rid of it. No, like I knew what was gonna happen, and I mean that's what it is. It's like, dude, we can't get rid of birthright citizenship, bro. It's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. We can't stop these people from taking over your country with anchor babies, bro, because it's against the rules. All right, I don't make the rules, you don't make the rules, but there are rules. It goes against the rules. We can't stop it, man. It's their constitutional rights. I get your grandpa worked his entire life for Social Security, and he can barely afford anything, and fuck, you can barely afford anything. I understand that, but you don't understand.
Okay, what does that have to do with birthright citizenship? What does that have to do? How would ending birthright citizenship eliminate alleviate
rules.
that.
They get all the
Exactly.
same privileges that you and your family get. They deserve all of it because they were born.
Okay.
I can't wait to see like somebody have a kid in a different country, but they have like a plot of American soil in like a jar or something, and they just put the baby in the plot of soil, and they're like, "See, it's American soil. That's American baby. All right, he gets all the rights. Let him vote." But ever since that happened, I've been seeing a whole lot of cope from the plan trusters.
Hilarious.
All the basic cope that we're used to seeing. You know, it's like, oh, you see what this heckin' based black guy in the Supreme Court said about it? He was pissed. He wrote a 91-page document, dude. He is pissed off. All right. Oh, did you see this other base judge? Did you see what this other base judge said? Bro, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares what they said? They could not do anything about it. They did everything they could, but it still didn't change anything because it's against the rules, all right? We can't save Western society. We can't save America because it's against the rules. But the cope continues. You see the people posting on X. They're posting the court has made their decision. Now let them enforce it. Oh, wow, that based Andrew Jackson quote with the Trump picture. This goes so hard, guys. Let's see them enforce it. Dude, how about you guys enforce the law? Forget about birthright citizenship. What happened to mass deportations? You know, what happened to all that? You guys promised. What happened to Antifa being a terrorist?
It's still happening. And if by mass deportations you mean ICE, the government agency, black bagging random brown people on the street, that's still happening.
Organization.
Actually.
What happened to that? Like, you guys aren't busting down on that? How long has it been? 2 years? Saying it's a threat to our entire society, and yet there's nothing that's happening, and then they say, oh, well, we can't infiltrate them to find out who's in it. It's too impossible. They're too spread across. Like, we can't get in there. And it's like, bro, there is a woman on YouTube who constantly infiltrates Antifa groups, far leftist groups, almost every fucking day, and she does it while live streaming. She gets in these calls, shows their faces, shows their names. She does that all the time while she's live streaming it. And you're telling me the FBI can't do it? You're telling me the FBI cannot infiltrate these groups? There's not entire chat messages? Dude, we know you guys track all of this shit. We know you guys track phone records and text messages and all the encrypted messaging apps. We know that's all bullshit, bro. We've known that's all bullshit for the past, like, 6 years. And you're going to play that card again? Like, oh, we just can't figure out who these people are. And it's like, bro, they could. They just won't. They won't. They need Antifa to exist because it gives them ammunition to use, you know, because Antifa is scary to older people. It's scary to boomers. They need them to exist. If they really wanted to, bro, if they really wanted to get rid of Antifa, they could do it within half a year at most. With
You're
the amount
sort of on the right
surveillance
track here.
Tracking this country has with AI, with all these programs, all this software, all this data, you're telling me you can't do it? We know you can't.
Antifa isn't real. Okay, it's not a real organization. It's not like the Proud Boys, right? It's not like the Klan. Like, those are far right-wing groups, right? Those guys are, like, unified organizations nationwide. Okay, they are. And I'm not saying that they're, like, huge in numbers. They're this big, scary, they're these big, scary organizations. You know, they are growing in numbers year over year, and that is pretty scary in and of itself. But, like, as it stands, these groups aren't really that terrifying for me personally. Okay. And you can say that that's because of who I am and my identity and where I live, right? And I'm not even going to really tell you you're wrong, but we're not talking about that right now, okay? My point is that these groups actually have something. They have bones. They have structure, okay? Antifa doesn't have that, okay? Antifa stands for anti-fascist, okay? That's all it means, right? So if you assume that the Klan is fascist, right? And if you disagree with me about that, I don't really excuse me, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, like they clearly are, okay? The Proud Boys, believe it or not, also fascist, okay? Maybe you believe me about the Klan, but you don't agree with me about the Proud Boys. Okay, whatever. Point is, leftists, we view these groups as fascist because they are. Okay? And anti-fascist, they, don that label and they wave that flag because they are simply against those guys in their city, in their town, in their community. Okay? When Nazis march, Antifa shows up and they counter-protest. And sometimes it turns violent. Okay? But that's what happens. That's how it works. Nazis march with their tiki torches. Antifa pops out. Okay? And it's because they are a response. Okay? They're not like this unified organization, terrorist organization, all over the country. They just aren't. That's complete delusion and insanity. The Klan, however, is a nationwide organization with members in probably most states, at least southern states. Definitely. You know, they have their grubby little tendrils all over the place, and Antifa just doesn't. They just don't. That's how it works. Okay. Now that being said, the FBI doesn't give a fuck about terrorism, period. Right? So if I were to agree with you that there were evil leftist terrorists, okay, yeah, no shit, the FBI isn't gonna do anything about it. The police are never going to do anything about anything. Ever. Because that's not their job. Okay, their job is to find criminals and arrest them and charge them. Okay, that's what they do. That's what the police do. That's their stated job. And that's it. Nothing else. They do not have to protect you. They do not have to find criminals committing conspiracy, right? Because while conspiracy is a crime, it's kind of a more abstract crime. Okay, so it is a real thing with, like, defined parameters, like all crimes. But because of the nature of it, of the crime, the act of conspiracy itself, it's difficult to pin it down, to gather evidence around it. So, because it's more complicated, because it's harder, cops are usually like, ah, fuck that. You know, I don't want to do that shit. Alright, that's how it works. But anyway, I don't believe that there are... of course I don't believe that there are fucking leftist terrorists in this country. There aren't. Okay? There are plenty of right-wing terrorists in this country, but the cops don't want to do dick about that either. They don't want to do shit about it. Okay? Of course not. Anyway, let's keep going.
Just won't. And that's part of the problem. It's not that they can't, it's that they won't. It's because it's the whole system as a whole. Like, the reason why all of this conversation surrounding the Constitution and how, like, oh, we gotta get rid of this stuff. We gotta get rid of it. And then on the other hand, they're like, oh, we can't do that, man. It's against the rules. It's constitutional rights. And it's like, dude, like, that's the whole point. That is what the Constitution is in this day and age. Think about this. 4th of July is coming up. It is going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. This should be...
The Constitution is when cops arrest people because they feel like it. Actually, man, it's kind of the reverse exact opposite of that. I don't know if you know that. But that's kind of what it is.
If we were actually a country, but we're not. People talk about how America's dying, we gotta save it. And I've said this before, it's already dead. And a part of that is the Constitution. A part of that is this old style of thinking. Because, dude, it doesn't work. Not with all of these different groups, not with all of these different races. You bring these people in, and what do they start doing? They start playing the game. They start using your rules against you because they know you'll follow them. Because you do. But they won't. They have no desire to, only when it benefits them. This is one of those things. They are stretching the 14th Amendment to its absolute limits, and they completely got away with it. And they're saying,
no,
oh, we're going to try something else out.
It's just plain language, right? It is very clear and concise and articulated in the 14th Amendment. It's not stretching it to... stretching it would be like, if we were to say... you know, if you take American soil to another country and then, like, a baby is born on it, then, like, that would be, like what you were saying earlier. Which is insane and would never happen, although it would be kind of funny. But obviously that wouldn't be recognized. Or it would be, like, more realistically, stretching it to its limits would be like, if you were to say that any occupied territory by the United States or one of its allies, like, they're a United States citizen. Okay, so like Israel, okay, all Israelis would be American citizens, which they pretty much are anyway. Like anybody in a country that we've, like, bombed and militarily occupied, they would be U.S. citizens. Okay, that's how it works.
You see all the copers, they're like, don't worry, man, Trump's gonna have this one in the back. Bro, they don't fucking care.
But of course that would never
stay here because they represent corporations. Think about all of the big businesses that just benefit from having illegals here in this country, from having these types of people in this country. They want them to stay. They want them to stay. They've completely given up on you, and so they're just going to dog whistle to you. They're just gonna say certain things.
Okay, well, it's a misnomer to call them illegals because we're talking about the 14th Amendment right now, which means that we're talking about citizens. Okay, so this amendment doesn't protect illegals, okay? It protects people who were already considered citizens. The Trump admin wanted to snatch away people's citizenship. Oh, got your citizenship snatched. Got it snatched, bitch. Alright, that's what they wanted to fucking do. So, you know, we're not talking about illegals. That's
makes you think that they're on your side, and then eventually when you wither out and you're completely...
Also, they're not illegal. No human is illegal.
Abandon ship because they're not even on the same ship you are. They don't give a fuck about your ship. They know there's holes. They've already jumped. They're already somewhere else. That's what they're fixing to do, especially the GOP as a whole. And that's the problem. You have people that are unwilling to do what is necessary to save this society, but also they don't want to. It's not something they desire to do. And the people on our side are so fucking stupid. They'll watch an interview with JD Vance, a guy who has said so much shit. Think about what this dude has said. He said somebody who has been an American for like a day has just as much right to be here as somebody who has a heritage and a lineage that's been in this country for hundreds of years. That's what he says. But if this guy, this fucking idiot, goes on TV and says something that's kind of base, all of these stupid fucking white idiots are just like, oh, he's our guy? Oh, he's so base now. He's so base now, guys. JD Vance is our guy, bro. He's gonna save us. Even though he's married to an Indian and he hated his own white family, and that's why he married an Indian.
Yeah, man. Welcome to politics.
They forget all...
It's vibes-based politics. Okay, yeah. Oh, man. Why are my Republican brethren being so fucking sheep-like and stupid? Wow. That's a real fucking head scratcher, Thomas. You know, if you want more like conscientious, if you want more like maybe not like non-sheep, right? But if you want people who actually like engage in political introspection, then you might want to you know, swap teams. You might want to like jump on over to the other side, become a libtard.
All about that because
okay,
he's
get over
cool.
here.
And they
Come on, man.
that he went on Naked Cali.
Thomas, I accept you into the Marxist-Leninist movement, bro.
The Iran war, but they don't even consider it a war. They say, well, it's just a military engagement. It's just a military engagement, guys. Yeah, a military engagement that's costed us how much money? Billions of dollars? It's a war. And now it's a soft power war because it's affecting the economy in a lot of different ways, and people haven't even felt that to the max yet.
That's not what a soft power war is. What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking? This is not a soft power war. What? No. The time has passed for that. Okay. What we were trying to do a soft power war. Okay, a trade war is what he's talking about with China, but that shit didn't fucking work. This shit ain't working either, man.
But they will. And then they blame everything but themselves. They talk about the gas stations. They're like, it's the gas station's fault. They're taking advantage of the people, and they're charging so much money for gas. It's their fault. It should be cheap, guys. I don't know what to tell you. We did everything we could. It's like, bro, even if that were true, and let's say it is. Let's say all of these gas corporations are taking advantage of the American people, because like, why wouldn't they? It's a big corporation. You're telling me they wouldn't fucking take advantage of people for money?
Yeah, they should stop them.
Before. But even if that were true, the only reason they have that opportunity to begin with is because of what you guys fucking did with striking Iran, with letting Israel bitch you around, with fucking doing all of this stuff. That's the only reason they would have those cards to begin with. They're just playing the cards they've been dealt by you, and they blame anything and everyone. And you see JD Vance, you know, I'm getting kind of off track, but you saw him go on Megyn Kelly, and he's like, look, we know...
Yeah, and actually, dude, you are, unironically, you are literally hitting the bullseye here, right? You are actually 100% correct about this. These companies are taking advantage of Americans. They don't have to raise prices. They're doing it anyway. And on top of that, it's because the government has, you know, started a war with Iran. So, wow, good job, Tomfo. You know, actually, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not being facetious, okay? I'm being 100% serious when I say, good job, gold star, you did it. Congratulations, Tomfo.
People who voted for us, they didn't want war, they didn't want these things, but you know what? People like Mark Levin also voted for us too. Like, they're also a big reason we won, and they need these things to happen, so they're just as much part of MAGA as you guys. That's like 5 people, and most of those people fucking hated Trump to begin with when he first started getting involved.
No, man. That is a lot more. There are so many fucking Zionists in this country, dude. You have no idea. There are 30 million Christian Zionists. Let me repeat that. There are 30 million Christian Zionists. I don't think bro knows what he's up against.
But now they're on board, dude, when they're doing things that they want to see. And that's the problem. People forget this stuff. They'll watch JD Vance or Trump go on some news segment or get interviewed by a journalist, and they'll say something funny. And to be honest, it's not even funny anymore. They say the same shit every fucking time. Fake news, and all the fucking old boomers laugh. It's the same jokes, and they're still laughing, dude. It's like, get new jokes. Say something different, please. Just actually be funny. You used to be really funny. Now it's the same thing we've heard. But they'll see them. They'll see these people go on television, and they'll say something that's kind of based or it's just kind of cool, and then they forget everything else. And that's the problem. Because when you have a system that is based off democracy, or in this case, it's actually a republic, and we have the electoral college, and but we vote. And as long as you have a democracy, a democratic system that involves this many people, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people.
My God, he's stealing my talking points, dude. He literally is. I used to complain about this shit all the time. Tomfo, Why are you watching my shit, dude? Why are you doing that? Why are you getting all technical with it?
The only thing that
Stop
a politician is incentivized to do is just to lie to you.
Be
Especially
stupid.
when it comes to doing things to make your country better, would be very difficult for them to do, so they always take the easy way out. They either take the money, or the deals, or whatever, or just the path of least resistance, which leads to the decline of your civilization every single time. It doesn't matter what they tell you, they're always going to lie. And with democracy, you have the masses that are just socially engineered on every level. They don't fucking know what's going on. They don't pay attention. Talk shit about women, it's like, oh yeah, women shouldn't be involved in politics, and that's 100% true. Women shouldn't be allowed to vote, that's 100% true, but most people shouldn't be able to vote. Most people shouldn't be able to do this shit, because that is what democracy is in this day and age. It's a tyranny of idiots. It's a tyranny of retarded people. That is what it is. They get engineered to believe things, and so they vote for those certain things. They don't even usually get those. Trump won for mass deportations. He won because he was supposed to get rid of birthright citizenship and all these different things. But Supreme Court said, no, guys, I'm sorry, man. We did everything we could.
Okay, so you want to be China. You want to be like China. That's what you want. You want to get rid of democracy. Okay, cool. Yo, Tom Fo, you are almost there, bro. Okay, we can usher in the third world Maoism that this country so desperately needs. Okay, you and me, Tomfo, we can rally the peasants. Okay, we will march them to the capital.
Everything we
That's
can.
what we'll do.
It's just a bunch of rambling, but I mean, that's all anyone can do at this point. And I don't know how many times I have to say
I totally agree with you, man.
Coalition on the channel. You guys remember that? It was like a 2-hour
I do
video.
remember
We
that.
had a very long conversation.
That
And I
sucked.
will admit, the first like 30 minutes is just us glazing each other. There had to be some glazing, dude. It was like the first time we talked, and we both like each other's content. And now I would say we're pretty good friends. So we're glazing, but once you get past the glazing, we talk about some real shit in that video. And eventually, it got to the conversation of the Constitution, of democracy, and how like these things don't work. You know, when I say people, the masses have been socially engineered, part of that is in believing that democracy is actually good, and believing that it means something. You have been led to believe that these things are necessary for you to survive. Like the only reason America can even be a country is if we have the Constitution that we have. Well, it's what the founding fathers wanted. Dude, the founding fathers had the Bill of Rights. It was the first like 10, and it's radically changed so much from what it was in the beginning. It is not the same thing at all on any level, and people are just so wrapped up in it. You know, they have to defend it so much. It's almost as if it's used as a way to get you to defend the worst parts about it with stuff like, you know, stuff that you do like the Second Amendment. Oh, we got to support the Constitution. It gives us Second Amendment rights. Let's be honest here in this conversation. If we didn't have Second Amendment rights, if they just got rid of them tomorrow, would they really be able to get rid of your guns? Like, be honest. Would the government really be able to take away your guns? Every single one of them? Every single one? Now, in this day and age, would they be able to do that? No, they wouldn't. Maybe in like 10% of states, places where you barely have gun rights to begin with, even if you use the gun, you'd probably go to prison. Even if it's self-defense, you would probably still have the book thrown at you and go to prison because you're a white guy and you're not some black person in some gang or whatever. But would they even be able to take that away from you, really? I would say no. But because people care so much about this, they'll be like, oh, well, it's our First Amendment rights, it's our Second Amendment, we gotta protect, we have to do what it says. And it's like, bro, how many times have they infringed on your Second Amendment rights, on your First Amendment rights? How many times have they constantly fucked you over? Because Sam Hyde said it best. Dude, the only time it's ever really used in a way that matters is just to fuck you over. And people are conditioned so much to the point where they have to defend it that all the fucked up shit it does, they just give it a pass. Oh, well, they couldn't vote on it, guys. We got to do what the rules say. And I understand that's not what you guys are doing. None of us are in the Supreme Courts. I get that. But it's like, that's the point. The whole system is going. The Constitution, the democracy of America, America's dead. And it's been dead. It's not dying. It is decaying right now. And I've said this several times. I really do mean it. Whether you like it or not, in your lifetime, especially if you're Gen Z, if you're millennial, probably if you're a Gen Xer too, depending on how old you are, in your lifetime, these things are going to be gone. The Constitution, democracy as you know it, in America, it's not going to exist anymore. And it's really just going to come down to, is it going to be people from your side of the aisle, people who actually believe in the things you believe in, taking control and getting rid of it, or is it going to be the other people? The people that do actually collectivize, the people that do actually get together and work. Is it going to be them, or is it going to be us just complaining every single time something doesn't go our way? And it's like, we've been conditioned as a country to believe in these things because they have meant so much to us, but it's like, dude, it is being used against you. It is being used to destroy your way of life. It is being used to destroy your children's future. That is what the Constitution is today. Talking about birthright citizenship, I knew they weren't going to get rid of it, but like, this is important because everybody's focusing on it now. So let's talk about it now. What does that mean? That means anybody who can come here and have a kid, that kid gets to be an American. And not even just that, dude. You have videos from like 10 years ago where there are white American surrogates.
Yeah, man. So the Constitution is not destroying your way of life. That is just not really the case, okay? The Constitution is the only document that protects you from our batshit insane government, our bureaucratic police system that has imprisoned 2 million Americans and enslaved them. And, like, they're currently doing that, okay? Like, 2 million Americans are currently enslaved in the contemporary slavery system. Alright, but anyway. It isn't that that's destroying your life, okay? What's destroying your life, your way of life, is rich people, okay? And they're also doing that. Right, they're also imprisoning people, brutalizing black people, brown people, and enslaving them, and, you know, some white people as well. But anyway, the answer isn't to rip up the only document that is stopping the police from knocking down your door and, like, kidnapping you and your family. The solution to what is happening is to use the arm of the state to smack the rich people. Okay, slap them. Slap them around. Where's my money, bitch? You know, pimp them. Pimp out our rich people, okay? That is what China does really well, right? That's why China is as successful as it is, despite the fact that if you're a person and you have something you want to say about the government, you get disappeared, okay? You get arrested, you get disappeared because there is nothing. There is no protection. There is no protecting you from the government. The government does what it wants. People know what to say. People know, more importantly, what not to say about the government. Okay? So, most people, it doesn't really affect them because they just don't step out of line, okay? Because they know. Because they know what'll happen. Okay? But the conditions in China are actually not that bad as long as you don't do that. And it's because the government keeps punishing the rich people when they do fucked up shit. When they, like, kill 10,000 people, the government is like, hey, you just killed 10,000 people because you wanted to make more money. We're gonna execute you for that. We're gonna death by firing squad. In America, when you do that, when you kill tens of thousands of people, oops, the government is like, oh, it's okay. It's okay that you made a big mistake, but it's all right. It's actually not that big of a mistake. Okay, you'll be okay. We'll subsidize you. Don't worry. Nobody's buying your product now because it killed a bunch of people. Don't worry. We'll give you money. We'll keep your business afloat. Okay, that's what our fucking government does. It's insane, like, man.
Rich Chinese people who are choosing these white American women to be the surrogate mothers of their children, and in them doing so, it gives their kids rights, American rights. It lets them become American citizens. This isn't just illegals crossing the border, and she's pregnant and she pops one out. Like, this is on so many different levels, and it's a problem, and everybody knows it's a problem. And the people that defend this, the people that, you know, take the 14th Amendment and stretch it to the furthest limits they can go, they don't actually give a fuck about America. They don't actually give a fuck about any of the things that makes this country great or actually built this country to begin with. They just hate you. They hate the idea of imperialism or capitalism or white people or whiteness or any of this. They hate it. They hate the patriarchy. They hate all these things. They don't care about the Constitution. Do you think they give a fuck about the Constitution when it involves the Second Amendment? How many times have they attacked that?
Sort of accurate.
15 years? They don't care. That's all it is. It's when they play it for whatever side needs to play it for. That's what it is. It's like, oh, it's like this magic piece of paper. They don't care, bro.
Yeah, it's not really that they, like, hate imperialism, right? I mean, that's part of it. But Chinese people are a lot like Americans, okay? They are more, like, interested in material gain. Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, the surrogate mothers, like, they just want their kids to have a leg up over everyone else. Is it, like, moral? You know, obviously fucking not, okay? But, like, people will do this, on average, when they have incentives to do it. Okay, Tom? Alright? So don't hate the player.
Dissident right,
hate the game.
Start becoming more and more comfortable with the fact that the Constitution is not going to save you. The Constitution, this idea of democracy, all this is going to do is lead to your death. If not physical death, your spiritual death, which is probably already here. That's not going to save you, dude. It is not going to save you. The only thing that is going to save you is a Caesar. The only thing that's going to save you is a certain Austrian painter-like individual who's just going to fucking not give a shit and not care. Oh, well, the Supreme Court said, I don't fucking care. And people think that's Trump. They think Trump is that person. And I mean, I thought that's who he was too. A lot of us did. He's not. Trump is a pussy. He is. He's done some good. You have to admit it, but ultimately, dude, he does not have the backbone. None of the people in the GOP do. Don't think that if you replaced him with somebody else, it would be better results. All they're doing is controlling the decline. They can do nothing to prevent what's happening in this country because they lack the fucking balls to do so. That is what it's going to take. You want to save America? You really want to do that? It's going to involve a Caesar-like figure. It's going to involve somebody who is extremely radical. And at the very beginning, it's not going to be somebody who's popular.
No, man. That is how you plunge America into darkness and kill everyone. That's what you do there. Like, the system, as it stands, is stable. Okay, I know that seems kind of weird to say that right now, but the American system is working as intended. It is stable. Okay, it is. Now, Trump is rocking the boat, but I think that Tom Foe is touching on a real thing here, which is that Trump isn't really a lot like Hitler, okay? Because Trump doesn't want to destabilize the system. Okay, he doesn't. He wants to control it And he wants to like destabilize it with tweets, and then stabilize the markets again with another tweet to profit. Okay, but like he's not really doing anything yet. Okay, and I reserve the right to change my opinion in the future. But as it stands, Trump he's not like other American presidents, but he's also not like a pure fascist ideologue. He is simply acting in his self-interest, and, you know, that's the way I see it. So there is some truth to what Thomas is saying here. Like, yeah, if you want to elect Hitler, then, I guess elect, like, Tucker Carlson. That would be, and that's your guy, you know? That's who these motherfuckers are gonna vote for. But Trump doesn't want to destabilize this, Western system that we have going on here. He just wants to profit off of it. Anyway, let's keep going.
It's just going to be somebody who's not going to give up and somebody who's going to be relentless. Kind of like how Trump was in 2016. Remember when he was running for the Republican nomination? They had all those people and they asked that one question. There's like, if anybody here were to lose the nomination, are you going to drop out and go independent and ruin it for everybody else? And Trump was the only one who was going to do that. And that's why they asked those questions to begin with, because they knew everybody else would get in line and support whoever got the nomination except Trump. And Trump was the one with the momentum. So they needed him to get in line, and he refused to do so. And that's why he won. The donors and the Jewish oligarchs, they didn't want him to win in 2016. In fact, a lot of them didn't even want him to win in 24, but they had no choice. They had to kind of get behind him, and now they completely control everything. And Trump was pretty supportive of Israel from the very beginning. Like, he's always been Israel's top guy. That is true. But that's what it's going to take, that relentlessness to just say, fuck everybody else. Fuck the GOP. I don't give a fuck about Republicans or what this piece of paper says. I want to win. That's what it's going to take. And ultimately, it's going to involve getting rid of the Constitution. At the very least, the majority of what's on there. Maybe not every single amendment, but most of them. More than half, if you really want to actually change things around in the long term. But that's so heretical to everybody, because you've been taught that that's what makes America America, is because they have a Constitution. Is it making it better at this point in time? No. In very small ways, maybe. But ultimately, in the long term, it's killing everything. And arguably, it already has killed everything. Like I said, America's dead. It's the 250th anniversary of the country, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. And that's what it's going to take. You know how I said I wasn't surprised about the ruling? I wasn't surprised. People are like, oh, well, women shouldn't be. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. But you still see the GOP running as many as they possibly can, because the GOP is a liberal group. They are feminists. They pretend like they aren't, but they are. Dude, for the past decade, all I've seen is just Republicans and conservatives say shit like, well, we're not the real racists. It's actually the Democrats. See, the Democrats actually created the KKK. They're the ones who did the KKK, guys. They're not us. See, we actually like gay people. See, we actually like blacks. Dude, women, we love them in politics. That's what it's been the past decade. It's just that shit on repeat over and over and over again. They're not going to save you. And I know a lot of the people who already watch me get that, but anybody who isn't a part of the dissident right, who isn't, like, you know, maybe subscribed to me or likes a lot of the stuff that I say,
that's
these people are feminists.
everybody's
the
a
Republican
liberal,
Party
bro.
does not give a fuck about white people in America. They don't give a fuck about America. They don't care. It's all LARP. It is all cope. Every single aspect about it. And it's like, I get that you can't automatically just win everything all at once, of course. But the cope that is here is the cope that, like, well, there's still...
Well, no, man. Like, I don't really agree with you there, okay? Because Republican politicians, they be wanting mass appeal, okay? Like it or not, Thomas, being racist, hating women, being a misogynist, it's not popular, okay? It just still isn't, okay? It's kind of, you know, oh, the Overton window has shifted, guys. It has. You know, like, yeah, okay, you can say that all fucking day. As it stands, people, generally, average people, are not like, oh yeah, we should turn back the clock on women's rights and gay people and yada and black people and whatever else, okay? We should just fucking brutalize anyone that's different, okay? Like they did in the glorious 1970s. It's not happening, okay? You can want it to happen so bad, you can manifest it. Oh, everybody's on my side. Everybody is. You're fringe, okay? You're as fringe as I am, if not worse. Actually, inarguably, you are more fringe than I am in our age group, okay? You're a fucking weird little troglodyte. Meanwhile, 60% of Gen Z, you know, people our age, Thomas, they're pro-socialism. And 30% are pro-communism.
Some things, but it's not even shit that's really helping. That's the point.
Become a Maoist.
Are incapable.
Become a Maoist today.
To do what is necessary to fix these things. And the reason why I don't blackpill about this stuff, I know it's pretty crazy and a lot of people have been blackpilling, is because I do believe with the way things are going, people are kind of coming to this conclusion. Like, think about it right now, compared to 5 years ago, how many people have been having this type of conversation? It wasn't a lot. That was something you had to go to some vague corner of the internet to have a real conversation about. Now it's all over.
Man, no, it's not all over the... Yeah, well, it is all over the place, as in, like, it's plastered on big news media, big stations, right? Like, you know, there are a lot of extremist ultras that are getting more prominent platforms. Interesting. Including yourself, Thomas. But you need to understand that you are deepening yourself into... you are in an echo chamber, man. You are in one. You are surrounded by people that agree with you. And you have meticulously done this. You have cultivated your audience. Specifically to live in an echo chamber. Okay, whether you realize it or not. That's what you've done. And so because of that, and because of the permission structure in, you know, big media, okay, big news media, because of that changing, now you believe that suddenly this is a more acceptable conversation to have, which in a way it is. But it being more acceptable doesn't mean more people agree with you, because the mass media has been manipulated. This is inarguable. This is demonstrable. This is just what's happening. Okay, and you have, in fact, put yourself in an echo chamber with this YouTube channel.
You see people question it. You see people say, well, even if they support the Constitution, they don't support this version. And that's what it is. It's like the conversation is moving radically. People are kind of waking up to this stuff, and that is good. But ultimately, is it really going to help? Is democracy really going to save us? I don't think it will. And I get the hazards, the red flags people see when I say shit like this. They're like, well, you can't get rid of the Constitution. You can't get rid of democracy, because once you do that, you can never go back. Back to what? That's my question to you. Back to what? Where we are now? Where we're going? Is that what you're talking about? Back to what? What is it doing? You know, as long as I get to pick the person who gets to fuck everything up, oh man, it's part of the rules. You can't get rid of it. Do you really give a shit about any of this? And this is a bigger question. You know, I'm kind of asking here. It's not like something that like, oh, we can just fix it overnight. I get it, but long term, would you really be opposed of like a fascist leader? And would you really be opposed of somebody actually getting in there and just not giving a fucking shit? Would you really be opposed of taking all of these traitors in your own party, people who have taken the easy road out of everything, people who have done nothing to represent you when it matters and have failed on almost every single level? Would it really be so much for you to just accept the fact that maybe to have...
Yeah, man, people don't want grandma to get executed by firing squad. Like, and that's what you're asking of people right now. You're like, come on, bro, like, it'd be really good for the country. Like, don't you just want to take your grandma and, like, fucking beat her fucking head in and stab her and shoot her in the head and watch her brain juice go everywhere? Like, no, man, people don't want to do that. You know, wow. People don't want to put their neighbors in concentration camps, right? And, like, you're talking about doing that to white people. Okay, you're talking about doing that to whitey, which is extra insane. Okay, and people in your audience, they will eat this shit up. Okay, I'm not, like I said, you're in an echo chamber. Okay, you are. I assure you, if I, like, the last few times I've scrolled down into your comments, it's the same. It's the same thing, the same rigmarole every time. So, you know, I'm sure people in your comments will be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'd kill my family. You know, if they're not on board with the fascism. Like, well, okay, man, but most people, most Republicans even, aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, let's do that, yeah. Because most Republicans aren't even on board with the deportations anymore. And that's something that's only happening to brown people, really. Okay, but like, here's how it works, okay? White Republican votes for Trump, and then their neighbor gets kidnapped, gets sent to a concentration camp. And they're like, oh man, wait a second, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. You know, and like that person, that's just their neighbor. You know, like this is the way it is, man. You can't just make people want to kill their loved ones and the people that they know in their community. And they like, you know, are familiar with.
Country you would want, you need to get
just
rid of
not
it.
how it
Maybe you
works.
would actually have to burn down the GOP and do something new. And a part of that is some of the rules. If the Constitution is really going to protect stuff like birthright citizenship, how fucking good is it really to you? Like, honestly, I know some people are gonna be like, that's not really a good argument, Tom, and like there's a million reasons why we would keep it. But understand what I'm asking you. Are you so opposed to the idea to get rid of these things that you have been engineered to just kind of love and you never question? Would it be so much for you to accept the fact that maybe to fix things, you would have to do the opposite of that? Maybe you would have to get rid of them? And to somebody who would say, but once you do that, you can never go back. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. Maybe that's the answer, is to never go back. If where we are was down the road from where it used to be, and if where it used to be was so great, then why did it lead here? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm asking? It's not the most foolproof, most well thought out argument or, you know, ramble I've probably had, but it is something I've thought about quite a lot. And I've talked about this with so many different creators. I just don't fucking give a shit. I don't care. The government constantly takes the Constitution and they wipe their ass with it. Maybe that's what you need to do too. Maybe that's what we need to do collectively. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe that is the right course of action, is to stop holding on to these old relics of the past.
Yeah, well, you can't do that because the Constitution doesn't fucking do diddly squat for the government. Okay, like, how are we supposed to wipe our asses with the Constitution when the Constitution doesn't stop us from doing anything? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? The Constitution is a contract that we, the people, have with the government, okay? Yada, yada, yada. Okay? It protects us from the government. It doesn't go the other way around. It doesn't go both ways, Thomas. Okay?
That no longer exists.
Jesus.
A world that literally we will never see in our entire lives, and your kids are never going to see it. And your grandchildren, if you ever have them, will never see it. Maybe those old relics are actually preventing us from fixing things. And I understand it's like, well, what am I saying? Can we just get rid of it overnight? But maybe that is what's necessary. Not that it's going to happen overnight, but like really, if the answer is somebody who just doesn't fucking give a shit about term limits, if the answer is somebody who just doesn't care, you know, you see these people talking about all day. They're like, well, what's required to fix America is to just stop caring if women cry about immigrants getting deported. We just need to stop caring about women crying. Maybe we need to stop caring about a little bit more than that. Maybe we need to stop caring about a lot more than that. Maybe we need to stop giving a fuck about all of these old things we hold so dear that have done nothing to prevent things getting this bad. I don't know. It's a big question to ask, and it's kind of hard to talk about it because a lot of people are just not comfortable with that. They don't like the idea of getting rid of these things because they're like, you can never go back. And it's like, well, why would we want to be here to begin with? I don't know. This was more of a rambling video, if you couldn't already tell. This was me just, like, I had to talk about this. There's no way I could not have talked about this. I had to. And so that's all I'm going to say. It is an unhinged rambling from a dissident right Gen Z man. Somebody who's just got a picture of a chicken on YouTube who just yells into a microphone. That's what this is. But that's what I have. That's what I wanted to talk about. And you know what? There was a collab. I wasn't a part of it, but you guys should definitely watch. It was Right Wing Coalition, Foulball Productions, and Atlas Thugs on Foulball Productions' channel. I'll put a link to it in the description, and I'll put a picture up. They had a conversation. I don't necessarily think they went too much into what I'm saying, but they talked about the birthright citizenship thing. And it was a great conversation about women in politics. That is the bare minimum for what is required to be in touch with, modern civilization and what is needed to fix things. Is that women should not be voting or involved in politics on any level. That is the bare minimum. But yeah, you guys should definitely go watch it. Check it out. Support those guys. They do great work. And let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Because this is a conversation we really need to have. And it's kind of a hot topic. But it needs to be. It needs to be everywhere. People need to be bringing this up. If you have an argument against what I'm saying, then do it. Like, leave it below. Talk about it. Argue for it. But regardless...
Alright, I'll leave a comment. I think that you're a pathetic scumbag and you hate women because none of them want to fuck you. There we go. Post anyway.
What you think, what you believe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. The love, the support has been
You're welcome.
Amazing. And I'm so grateful for it. So thank you.
I'm loving it.
And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Rumble. Follow me on X.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that shit.